Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Fungo Sports Podcast. I'm Zach, your host, as always, with Coach Humphrey over here. Hey, today we got a special guest all the way from Ropes, Texas. Coach Beau Riker with us, head football coach, been there for 3 years, and coming off a 12-2 really stellar record season.
Yes, sir. You know, we were lucky enough to win some games last year. Had a good group of kids, and got to play in the regional championship last year against Groover, and played really deep in the playoffs, and really set the expectations for our program.
Man, yeah, set the expectations. That's all I've heard this year is how big a season, how much expectation there is moving forward and everything like that.
Yes, sir. You know, I'm excited. Moving forward, our kids are really bought into our program. They really excel at a high level, and the expectations for the kids is they want to win, and they're willing to do whatever it takes, the sacrifice, the time, the effort, and the energy to be successful.
Yeah, that's awesome. Hey, we're gonna talk about football for a long time in this podcast. Before we get into it, I want to know about you.
All right, man. I've been coaching. This is year 18. I finished up 17. I've been fortunate in my coaching career to be under some great coaches, some great mentors. Mainly Michael Pittman. He was like a father figure to me. He coached me. He coached me in high school in Anton, Texas. He's kind of showed me the ropes. I coached with him in post for 10 years.
Wow.
10 out of my 11 years. And then, as we split up when we left Post, Texas, and he went down to Crane. I went to Brock, Texas, and then we ended up back together. God has a wonderful plan that we don't understand, but he ended up back on staff with us there in Ropes, and he kind of took a step back to do that. And, he's getting closer to retirement, and, he's got one more kid left, and, I'm excited to be around him, and there's other coaches in my career that have really influenced me. Everywhere that I've been, they've had a huge impact on me and my family. More than the X's and the O's, man. It's the relationships you build in this, and the men that have been in my life and helped direct me to where I've been. I'm forever grateful.
So you talked about, kind of going through this career of yours. You said Brock, Post. What are some of those job titles that you've had in those positions in different schools?
Yes, sir. So, I started in Hubbard, Texas, as a young guy, and as an assistant coach. We went on, moved from Hubbard to Archer City. Archer City is in the Wichita Falls area. We had a lot of success there, and I coached for Steve Smith. 1 year I was like a co-defensive coordinator, and that's really kind of getting thrown to the fire. We had a coordinator leave right before the season.
Oof.
So, that kind of throws you into the fire, but you learn a lot really quick.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And, at that point, man, I got to learn a lot those 2 years there in Archer. The second year they did bring in a true defensive coordinator, so I kind of had to take my step back, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
It was great for me to learn. And then when I moved to Post with Steve left Archer City, and we went to Post together from Archer, and I became a coordinator on paper, not really calling things. And then he leaves a couple years after that, and Michael Pittman was already on staff with us. And he took over, and I got my first defensive coordinator position there in Post. So out of my 11 years, I believe there was 8 years I was the defensive coordinator in Post, and we had a lot of success there. We were always 1 or 2 rounds deep pretty consistently the first half of my career there, and then it just the success and the expectation continued to grow, and then we started playing 13, 14. Then we had back-to-back state championships.
Mm-hmm.
Or we played in state championships. We didn't win them.
Hey, we still win.
Yeah. So we were in 2 state championships, 2019 and 2020 there.
That's right. Okay, I knew it was recent. I feel like it wasn't too long ago that they were tearing it up over there.
So we had a lot of success there. I had a good group of young men, and then when I left, me and Mike and Coach Pittman. We both left Post at the same time.
Oof.
So in 2022, I went to Brock. I was looking for jobs. I was looking for head jobs. Didn't have a whole lot of success finding that head job role. I was hungry for change in our life, for me and my wife and kids. But it just so happened that Brock ended up calling me. It was not really a coordinating position at first. We had talked about a coordinating position, but he had coordinators on staff. So I ended up being a linebackers coach there at Brock, and we also played another state championship. We lost to Franklin in the state championship. So 3 out of 4 years there, I was in Jerry World getting to coach, and it was a true blessing.
Lots of state championship experience. That's kind of nice. Not a lot of people have that. Even whether you win or lose, like going there is a whole different animal, and I feel like that's kind of an interesting thing to have on your belt there.
Yes, sir. It was good. It was good for my career. It was I got to coach my oldest son, Brennan, in the state championship. Great kid, probably not the biggest kid to be out there playing linebacker, but he ended up in the state championship. Our Coach Pittman's son was our inside linebacker and quarterback, and he tore his ACL in the first quarter. So my son got to go in and play quite a bit in that state championship game. If things hadn't happened the way it did, I think we could have, really gave Shiner a run for that state championship that day. But just injuries, you can't control them, and it's part of the game.
Yeah. Now, it's cool that you coached your son at that state championship.
Right.
You're also coaching your other son right now.
That's correct. So now I have another one. He's a junior in high school. His name's Caden. Caden is a little bit different than Brennan. His physique, he's about 6'3", about 205 right now.
Cool.
He's
a dude.
He's kind of a dude for us. He's very physical. It's a good thing he got his mom's brain and athletic ability, but we joke with him a lot. But he's been very successful in his athletic career, and more than that, he's a great young man, and that's probably what I'm most proud of. Both of my kids, just fantastic kids, fantastic in the classroom, and they better have good character.
Yeah.
You would hope.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, you don't get by with a lot if you're your coach's son. Teachers know where to find him.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's always, he was raised. Both of our kids were raised at the field house, so there's always eyes on them. There's always eyes telling on them too.
Oh yeah.
But what better place to raise your kids at? You get to see them all the time. You get to watch them grow.
Absolutely.
I have a daughter and a son. They're a long ways from being where I'm at, but I kind of think about that. Man, I can't wait till I can start taking them to practices. They're so little right now. I just don't really want to bring them, because I think about volleyball. Man, if my daughter takes the ball to the head, that's practice is over. We're gonna have to go home and start the whole day over.
End of the world when they're toddlers, right?
Right. Yeah. But I think it's a cool experience, especially getting to coach them in a state championship. How many people get to do that with their children? It's pretty awesome.
I've been blessed. My kids in a small school. I've always been in a small school. That's just kind of my identity. I've been in 2A, 3A. Post was 3A. Went back down to 2A. Went to Brock. They were 3A. But my kids were at the field house when they were little. Man, they were running around, getting parented by the other kids.
Right.
The high school kids, and I think that's really, you see the benefits of that.
Yeah.
They're around that atmosphere all the time, that competitive atmosphere, and they've been very successful. Both of them. My oldest, Brennan, he won a state championship in powerlifting.
That's cool.
He was 126 pounds and squatting 465 pounds. He was a dude.
Yeah.
I was 120 pounds, and I was lucky if I could squat 120 pounds.
Exactly. He put in the time and the effort, to go be successful.
That's awesome.
Yes, sir.
That's super awesome.
Hey, Coach, let's talk about ropes. Let's talk about the football season. Y'all opened up with a 33-0 victory over Hill Center. Tough game against New Home, week 2.
Yes, sir.
Tell us about the season right now. Kind of, what's y'all's identity as y'all's team this year? Like we said earlier, y'all, great year last year. First year here, y'all improved on the year before.
Absolutely.
Drastically improved last year. Big expectations. What's the identity of the team? Just talk about them for a bit.
We've put together a schedule that we want to be competitive in. Hill Center, they played us tough. I think it was 8-0 at halftime.
Wow.
So they came out and we're going to get everybody's best now, and we know that we have that target on our back.
Yeah.
So, if we got that expectation that you're going to get everybody's best, we have to rise our game. And I think we started slow these first 2 games, and we have to come out of the locker room with some intensity that we haven't had yet this season. Our identity this year has got to be physicality. I think the kids have spent all summer, all off season in that weight room, and we have to out physical our opponents, and if we're going to be successful. And I think that we can. I think that right now we're playing a little bit on our heels. New Home exposed us a little bit in the trenches. We got to get more physical in the trenches. We got to get to the second level and make sure we're blocking linebackers. And that's really kind of been an issue these first 2. But New Home's, they're talented. They have a great staff.
Yeah.
They put together a good product on the field and a good physical game in the rain. It was a good night.
Yeah.
We didn't come out on top, but we learned a lot about our kids, and a lot of kids are getting reps right now that we're going to rely on later in the season. We do have a few injuries right now that it's kind of bitten us, but I'm glad we're dealing with them now instead of in the middle of district or in the playoffs.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of your players here. So who are some key contributors right now that you see and that other people are looking at?
I think our quarterback situation with Cade Franklin, he's really stepped up this year. He's been a leader for us, and we're really excited to have him out and playing a physical, way more physical game than he has in the past. He's playing with more confidence, and I'm really excited to see him in the pocket and his pocket presence. Our identity is to run the football.
Mm-hmm.
He still has to lead that huddle, and he's done a fantastic job of that. With that, we also have another young man that split some time at
I saw
quarterback.
that. Yeah, I've noticed. And I was like, wait, who's the quarterback? And I kept seeing the 2 pop up.
So Zayden Pittman, which is Coach Pittman's son,
Okay.
has he's grown up in Coach Pittman's system. Coach Pittman's calling the offense, so he knows the ins and outs.
I'll bet.
So
Or at least you really hope he
Hope so.
does.
right. So that's been the difference. But Cade's also a 6'4" kid that we can put out at the X receiver, and he can win some jump balls. He can run some good routes, and wherever Cade is, he's on the field on offense. He's going to be on the field. We're going to find a way to utilize him. And Zayden has done a fantastic job too of distributing the ball and getting. He's a great runner. So you're going to see Zayden running the ball a little bit more than Cade.
Yeah. Now, you say that I saw a highlight from, you know which one I'm talking about, right?
From Hale Center.
Yes, that first game, Franklin's running the ball, and he's bigger than everybody on the field.
Right.
And just runs over this guy.
Yes, sir. So he is. I told you he's playing with a different physicality this year. He stepped up. We ran it was 4th or 3rd and short, so he just ran a quarterback sneak, and he got through the line. And it was just him one-on-one with the safety, and he didn't even have time to lower his shoulder. He just ran over the kid.
Yeah.
So nothing against the kid, but Cade had a great run, and it just so happened that somebody had to be somebody's highlight reel. So he was, Cade is playing way more physical. He stepped up in the pocket against New Home, and hurdled the kid, kept his eyes downfield. And he made a great, fantastic play. He's looking good right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to get that play and loop that on top of it.
Yeah,
So
I need to look for that. Dude, I'm telling you, because I was watching, and you're right, it's safety. So by the time he gets that speed, and the average safety in high school, period, much less small school, and we're talking like 5'8", maybe.
150 pounds.
Yeah.
Cade's about 6'4", 210.
Yeah, it's physics at that point. It's not even Yeah, that was awesome. Hey, Coach, defensively, I know y'all got some guys. Your son plays a lot of defense, and we'll talk about him here in a minute because he has an injury that I want to know when he's coming back, that kind of thing. But defensively, what do y'all look like?
Defensively, we're a 3-4 cover 2. We want to play physical in the trenches. Our nose he's a returning All-State nose. His name's Victor Sines. We call him Junior. That's why I couldn't think of his first name there for a second. He's very physical. He comes off the ball well. Got a great first step, and then he can play flat down the line of scrimmage. He really sets the tone for our defense, and we have a great secondary. We're trying to get the ball out of the opponent's hand quickly, so our secondary can keep it in front of them and make plays on the ball. Branson Simmental was also a returning All-State corner last year. I think he had 9 or 10 picks on last season.
Oh, wow.
So he was a fantastic player. And then, of course, Caden's been the core of our outside linebacker group. He's a headhunter,
Yep.
and he plays physical. I look forward to getting these kids more confident. We're playing well defensively, but there's always a lot of room for improvement.
Yep, absolutely. Hey, what are some challenges? You said you've got some injuries and that kind of thing. What challenges y'all have moving forward?
So we got to get kids healthy. Caden, my son, he tweaked his hamstring pretty good. Got to see the doctor last week after the MRI, and doctors. It's not great news, but the best news is he's day to day.
That's good.
When he gains strength in that hamstring, he's going to be a full go. Let's see, Coulter Dockery, our safety, and our Z receiver, he broke his thumb, so it's kind of hard catching a deep ball with one hand. But he
start training that.
right. So, but he's the identity of our program. He's got speed, but he's tough.
Mm-hmm.
He casted the thing up and played Friday night. He may have missed a tackle or two. He didn't have the grip right now. He doesn't have that thumb. But and it was all casted up. We also had another broken thumb with Braden Hogg, and he got casted right before the game so that he could play. He's probably fixing to get some pins put in to help his recovery maybe a little bit faster.
Yeah.
Man, you got those kids always that they'll have the most gruesome injuries. Like, no, I'm good. Just
wrap
tape it up and let's go.
So that's what he said. I'm going to get pins in, and they're going to be out of my cast, but I can still play, right, Coach? And I was like, man, I don't know. We'll have to ask the doctor.
Right.
We don't get to make those calls.
Yep.
And then our All-State knows he was out, for the first 3 weeks of the season, both scrimmages. He's been dealing with some shoulder pain, and then, he's back healthy. He's playing for us. He's not 100% right now, but, he's getting there.
Yeah. Man, as a coach, I always tell my kids, I've got three boys.
Right.
And so we're raising a very rowdy household. But I always tell them when it comes to sports, I'm like, hey, man, you can't come out if you just tweak your toe.
Right.
Coaches like to see if you're how much you want it. Sounds like you got a couple of guys that they want it.
Yeah, Coulter broke his thumb on the first play of the scrimmage against Lockney. He went into the doctor last week. So after 2 weeks, he said, it's not getting better. It's starting to hurt worse. What do I need to do? I don't want to go to the doctor. And ended up talking with parents, and then they were like, all right. I said, if it was my child this happened to, I would take him in, and let's get this fixed before we get to district so we can get that cast off and be able to go make plays. He can still catch. He returned a kickoff against New Home, so he's still our return man. He's still our punt return man. We still got a lot of faith in him.
Yep.
He's just an athlete. That Dockery kid is kind of fast too. He was winning the state track meet in the 100, and right at the end, the kid outleaned him. They had the exact same time on the board, so 10-7-0 at the state track meet was pretty spectacular.
With injuries and stuff like that, talking about all that, like me as a coach, I always tell my kids, get it fixed early, go to the doctor early, because in my opinion, even as an athlete myself, if I wait till the season's over, I'm not as motivated to rehab. I mean, I'm obviously going to do it, but you're not in a rush. But when you're in season, you're gonna do every possible kind of rehab that you can do because you want to get it done as quickly as possible. But it's just outside of season, I feel like people kind of take it a little bit slower, and then it just takes even longer. So that's kind of why I always tell my kids just go ahead and go. I know it stinks, but hopefully I've done my job as a coach, and I have those backups, and I have those people that can step up and do what they need to do. But I always recommend just go ahead and go. It's okay.
Absolutely. We're trying to get kids healthy for the long run. I think our scrimmages, we got to see who our identity is. We were physical, we were fast, and since then we've had a few injuries, and it's the game.
Yeah.
It's part of it. And we want to get those kids rehabbed and back on the field as quick as possible so that we know who we're going to be able to rely on. But in that process, we're getting other kids a lot of valuable reps.
Right.
And we're going to have to rely on those kids deep in the playoffs, hopefully. And there's no better way to get experience than being on the field.
Well, so talk to us about the 2A life. Obviously small school. What kind of roster size do you have? What does it look like? 2A, multi-sport athletes. What kind of challenges do you deal with at that level?
So we have all multi-sport athletes. We have very few single sport athletes. Our kids are they work year round, man. They have jobs. They work out. They play football, baseball, basketball, that you name it, man. They're in the on the track and field. We have a very successful program all the way around, and that's the contributing factor is the kids.
Right.
They put in the work. They excel at a high level. They have that expectation, and Ropes is a great place. It's the kids are fantastic. They work hard and they don't complain.
Yeah.
So it's been great. The 2A, we have about 60 kids playing football this year,
That's a good chunk.
yeah, it's up for a few from last year. As we continue to grow out here south of Lubbock, we're going to continue to get kids. It's just, we got to find the space for them in our school and our field house.
Right.
But the houses, I think there's 11 or 12 housing developments going up in Ropes right now. So we're going to continue to blossom out there, and we can get kids. And our elementaries are blowing up right now. Our classes, I think the kindergarten class this year, somewhere around 68 on day one, which our high school classes are around 40 to 45.
Okay.
Yeah, that it's such a unique thing to watch, and we've been involved with Ropes since we started Fungo and taking photos out there, so we've gotten to know the community a little bit.
Yes, sir.
Really fun, really tight-knit community, I feel like, and they're growing, so there's like a lot of change going on at the same time.
Yes, sir.
Right, tell us about that. What is it like living, coaching in a tight-knit community where you said everyone plays every sport, but really everyone does everything together.
That's right. These kids are around each other all the time. They hang out on the weekends. There's been times that I can wake up and try to go get something out of my closet in their spare bedroom, and there'll be kids in there sleeping just because, we're close knit. Those kids, they really and truthfully care about each other, and if they may not be as successful at a sport as their teammate, but just to make us successful, we have to participate in everything in a small school. If we want to be successful in football, we need those baseball kids to play and basketball kids. We can't just pick and choose a single event because we are small, and I think the more kids that participate, the more competition there is. The higher the value of the product you're going to get on the field, on the court, and on the diamond. Yeah. So, I think iron sharpens iron, and in a small school, you gotta be involved. Yeah. And I think we get a lot out of our kids. We don't have too many kids out there that are just specialty kids that just play basketball or just play baseball or just play football. They all try to do it all. And it's been a blessing there in Ropes because that's the expectation. They don't question it. The kids, they just know. So.
What about like the families and like the Friday nights? Like what does a Friday night game look like for y'all?
They make movies about small town Friday night life.
Yeah. So what is that atmosphere like?
So the atmosphere is fantastic. We continue to make updates and progress to our stadium, but the stadium is packed. We run out of the tunnel. Here comes the green and white smoke, and it's on, man. That air horn that we have, I think you can hear it from about 30 miles away. And just the spirit of the community, the involvement of everybody from the band to the cheerleaders. It's a great atmosphere. You turn around and the whole fence is full of kids. The student section just lined up. yelling, cheering. They're all dressed up, and you know, they have themes or whatever. And, you know, I'm sure it gets a little rowdy up there, but I don't get to hear all of it.
Right.
But
It's here the next week. You're like, oh man, I didn't know that was even happening back there.
it's a great atmosphere, man. You know, small town West Texas, they support each other.
Yeah.
The community comes out and support. The families come out and support, and you know, it's a place like no other, in my opinion, because it's all very personal. You know, almost everybody, if not knowing everybody in that stadium, it's really cool.
Right.
Yep. Man, I love the small town feel, but one thing that you'll hear me talk about often is the coach's involvement in culture and keeping that. So you said it earlier, everyone's got to be involved.
Right.
How do you keep everyone involved? You know, keep that excitement, because I think it probably starts getting those kids excited,
Absolutely.
and then those parents come along for the ride, right?
So, you know, I think that's what God has blessed me with is some way to find energy. And I'd love to bring excitement to our program. You know, a kid doesn't want to go out there at 6 o'clock in the morning and lift and run and do all this, but finding a way to make it exciting for the kids, to make it competitive for the kids, it's just the environment that you have to create to be successful. And, you know, winning isn't easy. The time and the effort and the energy that it takes, you know, it's not for everybody. Coaches have to spend a lot of time and hours and all being on the same page and pushing the kids in one direction instead of pulling them in their own direction. You know, I think that, you know, you got to stay on top of your coaches, you got to stay on top of your kids, and don't give an inch. You know, our staff is fantastic. We're continuing to get excellent coaches in ropes, and above and beyond all that, they're great friends. They you know, they're family friends. We do a lot of things to create that culture amongst our staff that we know each other, that we know the expectations, what our program has for each other.
Yeah.
So
That's good. You know, so you talk about your staff a little bit. Like, so what does like y'all's day to day look like? You know, what is your responsibility? What are like other responsibilities for everybody?
So small school, you said it, man. That we do it all. I like to get up there about an hour before we start or more. We do it all. We do everything from the laundry to getting the water and the Gatorade bottles ready. We do it. So we get up there early and we put in that time. We make sure the locker rooms are clean. You know, we do have great custodial staff, but you know, after practice and then when you're back up there at 6 o'clock in the morning, that custodial staff's not up there all the time. So we're doing laundry. We're mopping the floors. We're getting everything ready for the next day. So a lot of that is the preparation you don't think about in small school. And then you get the kids to come in. You have a practice. You have weights Monday and Wednesday morning, weights and conditioning before school starts. Then we watch film. You know, during the school day, we have a little break there. We have like 45-minute lunch.
Oh wow!
So the last 20
Jealous.
minutes.
It's a good lunch.
So last part of lunch, we watch film with our varsity. We do introduction of game plans on Monday and film, and then Tuesday we do the same thing. Tuesdays we don't have early morning workouts, but we get when we get them 8th period, we have 8th period athletics for the boys. We start practice then. So we start about 3:15, and we are about 2. Early in the season, maybe 2.5 hour practice on Mondays. But Mondays is probably the longest practice. Tuesdays, we cut it down quite a bit. We're down to 2 hours and 15 minutes. Because if they get bored, if they start chasing butterflies, we're losing them. So
Right.
we got to stay on top of them. And with the small numbers, kids are getting reps. We have to continuously rotate and set that tempo of our practice. Wednesday, we'll come back in. We'll hit the weight room again. And then get out and condition before school. We come back, watch film during lunch. On Wednesday, we call it put the hay in the barn. We don't do a whole lot of individual practice. We go team and team. We get after it, and we do a few special teams on Wednesday. And you know, that's kind of Monday through Wednesday. Thursday is just a walkthrough for about 45 minutes, and that's all during the period. So those kids. And at that point, they start hydrating and getting ready for the week. And JV's playing, junior high's playing. They start this week, you know, having 4 teams at a 2A level with 7 coaches. You're spread thin.
Yeah.
when coaches are all over the place. We all have to be certified to drive a bus so that we can get our kids to where they need to be and be successful in the future. We want those kids getting reps. If we're not scheduling games, then those kids aren't getting reps. And then, Friday, that culture of chemistry and team, we have a team lunch. We have a great group of parents that really try to take care of our kids. We have a team lunch that they provide for us there at the school. At that time, after team lunch, we're locked in. We come over 8th period and we watch film, load bags if we're on the road. We pack everything up and then we hit the road, or we let the kids go and come back. In Brock, we got out at like 2:00 in the afternoon, and they had team lunch, and then they had like nap time. So it was just different culture there,
right.
Bigger school. So the football players varsity football players didn't go to class on Friday afternoons. It was, and coaches, we all had subs. It was crazy.
Yeah.
But just a little bit different, the smaller school. And Friday's game day, baby. When that 7:00 hits, man, it's on. And our kids know that. They know that expectation that we got to be ready by Friday. And then Saturday, we bring the kids up for strength and conditioning again, really to work the kinks out from Friday night, do some rehab, and then recovery Sunday, man.
Dang.
So
it's
it's a lot of in-season time that we spend with the kids. That it's a grind. It's definitely a grind, and it makes it worth it.
Yeah.
And when you put in them hours, when you get to reap the benefits, it's awesome.
Dang.
It's a process, man.
I've never been a football coach,
Like
but
when you hear it laid out like that, man,
Yeah.
it's a process.
Oh yeah, I got to stay on. I feel like we have to stay on top of the kids. That we are making sure they're doing the right thing at the right time.
Yeah.
So attendance, if you're not there, it's crucial. You're letting the team down, and the expectation is to be there on time. And I don't want to stay after. They don't want to stay after practice to watch film, so we get that done during the school day, which is it's been a great time saver for us.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's smart. I used to do that when I was at middle school. All the kids would eat lunch in my room, so we would just eat lunch. But I would just put it on the TV, like not necessarily like breaking it down or anything. I would just play it and like hey, like y'all hang out, you talk, you eat, watch some things. Every now and then they'd tell me, hey, can you go that back on that? I'm like, oh yeah, sure. And I'll like rewind it and we'll watch it, especially like if it's something funny, It's always play like when you get trucked or whatever, but maybe not so much in volleyball. But every now and then, trucking's in volleyball, and you have to slow that down, zoom in a little bit, save that one, just to laugh at. But those are always good film sessions.
And that's what the kids want. They want that. They want to have a chuckle. They want to see what their opponents. We spend a lot of time in film. With, hey, is this guy light on his hand? Is he heavy on his hand? Is he telling you when he's pulling? Is he telling you when he's going to kick slide? They better, on Monday when we start, I want to know what number. The kids better tell me what number the guy that's lined up in front of them, and the good things about that player, and then the bad things about that player, and how we're going to exploit our opponent. So
it's always funny too. Like, do y'all use Huddle?
Oh yeah.
So Huddle, like, it gives you like that time breakdown of how much time they watch, and
Exactly.
like, I always have kids sometimes like, I watched this. I'm like, how did you watch this full game? You only watched 4 minutes of video. So it's like, you sure?
Right.
Did you watch it on like 3 times the speed or what? Because there's no way you saw this whole game.
So with Huddle, with technology now, it tells us how much they're watching, how much preparation, how much are they invested in it. If they're spending 1 or 2 minutes, they're probably not very invested. And they may not know the game plan. So, it's a great piece to evaluate your athletes.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Man, Coach, I feel like we've had a couple of interactions, and every time I talk to you, I feel like I know your expectations. I'm like, you're pretty straightforward on what you expect from your kids. I can make some assumptions, but I don't want to. That you're a big reason why y'all went from 4-5, 4-7, 6-5 to 12-2. That there's just been a culture shift. I guess the question is, what's your coaching style? What's it like playing for you?
So I'm pretty intense. I would think, as I age a little bit, I'm losing a little bit of that intensity.
Don't we all?
But I run around with the kids. I truly care for the kids, and I hope that they can see that. The change in the culture and change in the program, that comes with the staff. but the kids have to buy in. And if the kids, if they wouldn't be successful if they didn't put in the work and they didn't believe and trust in what we're trying to do. And the kids have done that. They've bought in, and they're all in. They love the success.
Yep.
So they want to continue to see that grow. And, you know, that culture is, you know, success breeds success. And I'm a firm believer in that. Like, we have to be successful if we're going to continue to be successful in the future. So,
That's
So
awesome.
like let's say game day. What kind of coach are you? Are you more play caller? Are you more game manager? Like what are you doing over there on the sidelines?
I call the defense. So
Okay.
I call the defense. I'm acting a fool, sending signals, sending stunts, and then when we make something happen, we're celebrating, man. I'm going to celebrate with the kids. We're going to jump and bump shoulders and
Knock 'em
headbutt or
over.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yes. So we're like, I love that
Headbutt.
intensity.
Did I hear you say headbutt?
Oh, whatever it takes. I've bled a few times on the sideline.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, there in post one time, my kid picked it off against Holly in the regional championship to go to the semis, and I didn't mean to, but I headbutted that sucker. I was bleeding everywhere. It was great. It's fun
That's
times.
awesome.
Yeah.
It's just a heck of a play, and I feel like, you know, celebrating the kids' victories. They know that I'm excited for
I think
them.
I should try that with the volleyball girls. You know?
yeah.
Yes, sir.
I gotta know what your family thinks when they see you doing.
I'm sure they think I'm foolish.
Specifically, I was gonna say specifically your wife. What is she thinking when she's like, "What did he just headbutt this kid?"
Oh, she knows. She's just as intense as I am. She's a huge part of our success.
Yeah.
She's the team mom. She's
Have to be.
She's the
Oh, yeah.
she's the supporter behind me. Like, weekends are a lot of prep for me. Saturdays and Sundays, game planning, implementing game planning, drawing scout cards, you name it. Like, it takes a lot of time. So when I leave here today, we're going to go home and I'm going to sit with my wife, and she's going to script my defensive script for practice. She'll probably be in there filling up water jugs and water bottles. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic coach's wife, but really just a fantastic supporter.
There's always the thing I see like on just all kinds of different things. Like, you know, if you're going to be a spouse to a coach, you're basically a coach too at that point. Like,
yeah.
you have to buy into it. Like, there's no way, especially football. I mean, football, you guys are way more intense than all the other sports, in my opinion. So, like, you know, I just feel like you have to have someone that's willing to be there through all of that, because there's just so much that goes into it. And, you know, if they don't understand that, it's hard. It makes the relationship hard, but it's good that, you know, she's bought into that and supported you through that.
Absolutely. You know, our whole marriage, I've been a coach, so she's been a coach's wife, and she embraces that. She loves it, and she loves her role, and she's been very successful.
Yeah, that's awesome. Coach, I want to look ahead a little bit on the season.
Yes.
Going up, what's the goals for the rest of the season? You're 3 games in, you know, getting ready for district and everything.
You know, we want to be 1-0 every week. You know, we got some teams on our schedule where, you know, we have some starred. You know, I think Tahoka last year was a tough game for us. Sundown, they got our number last year, and those guys, and Seagraves is going to be really good this year. Those district opponents that we know that we got to go out and compete each and every week during district, and we got to get better. You know, if we want to make a run at a state championship, it takes every kid on that team getting reps and getting better every week. And we want to be 1-0 every week, but we want to you know, I guess get deeper into our playbook week by week. We want to be more physical by the end of the season.
Is that success if you are deep in that playbook? And
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we don't practice our base plays very often. We may run 2 or 3 gadget plays a game, but it seems like that's all we practice.
Yeah.
You know, we're sending stunts in practice that put our kids in a bad situation. We don't want to always put them in a great situation. Let's see them make plays when we put them in a bind.
Yep.
And we got to do that in practice, because Friday nights, man, that's when you get to cash out.
Yep.
You know, that's when payday is. So
That's fair.
what they say, yeah.
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 So,
So, you know, as a head coach, you know, you've got a lot to think about. What do you see, you know, beyond this year? What is the long-term vision for your program, for ropes? Like, what do you see that as?
you know, our long-term vision is continue to build our program. continue to build our winning culture, and be successful at everything. I don't want to just be successful at football. I want to be successful at everything that we do, and that's academics. That's FFA, whatever we do, our kids get to be involved in. We want to be successful, and pushing our kids to be great at everything they do is just a life lesson to me. And in ropes, the future is bright. We're continuing to grow. We're getting kids like crazy, and like I've talked about, success breeds success. Well, when you're successful, we can't help it. Like, the kids are moving in, the families are moving in, the culture is right, and we have a great administration there in ropes that has really really helped and build the program and build the school system that's successful.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, like to hear that. Do you ever see ropes going from 2A to 3 or?
So in the future, I could see us going to big school 2A. Probably, I don't know if it's going to be next realignment, but it may be the realignment after that. We're probably going to be going up to big school 2A, as long as they keep it separated. And then, when hearing about 5 to 10 years, yeah, I could see 3A coming up. Just because our elementary numbers are
good.
Awesome, So, and we got, I don't know. We got some facilities, hopefully in the works. I think there's a bond going in.
Okay.
Hopefully in November we get to vote on that, and hopefully we get some facilities to house our students. We're not getting a whole lot of athletic, which is perfect. Like, our kids don't need the fancy, nice stuff right now. We got to be able to make sure we supply our kids with the educational goals first.
Of course.
So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Coach, we're gonna put you on the hot seat.
Okay.
We know all about ropes now,
Yes,
but we want to know. These are situational questions, all right?
All right.
And so take your time. They're not too hard. We'll just go top from bottom on this one.
I think so.
All right.
Yeah,
let's
I'll kick you off here.
Yeah.
So, do you have a good kicker this year?
Kate Franklin is actually kicking for us.
Oh,
right now.
perfect.
So-
Okay.
Cade
Awesome.
Franklin's
Okay.
quarterback, receiver, linebacker,
Yeah.
kicker,
Absolutely.
Water boy. Like,
water boy, you name it.
All right, so let's get you this situation here. Your kicker misses 2 PATs. Do you start going 2-point conversions, or do you throw somebody else in there to start kicking?
We won't throw anybody else in there because we don't have anybody, so we're probably going for 2. We run some swinging gate, so we got a lot of gadgets that we get to practice. But I think we're going for 2.
Okay. You want to go this one?
Yeah, I'll take this one. Okay, this is probably this weekend, honestly, or last weekend. Weather starts getting dicey. Rain, lots of wind, West Texas. You're a running heavy team anyway, so that, this changes a little bit. But do you transition to the run game if you're quarterback I'm sorry, let me ask this again. Do you transition to the run game, or do you stick with the QB receiver throwing?
You know what? We threw the ball quite a bit against New Home in the rain.
Yeah.
We weren't having a whole lot of success in, moving the ball in the trenches. So we had to go and, we try to keep a dry ball in there, but we're going to air it out if needed.
Yeah.
But we have that capability. Kate has a strong arm, and we got some receivers that can some speed out there. So,
Sure.
Once they catch the ball in the open field, I think there's a good chance that we can make a play.
Yeah, that rain was crazy this weekend.
It was crazy.
It was
Yeah.
fun.
I was at home and I just saw it. I was like, this is weird. Like, this is a random thing. I didn't even know was happening. So,
My wife's like, I didn't know it expected to rain. I didn't have all my rain gear. So
Yeah, it was all the trash bags. We saw a lot of trash bags.
Oh,
everywhere.
yeah,
That was
yeah.
the closest thing you can grab.
you got to break it out.
Yep.
All right, this one's a hard one, I think. Or not really a hard one. I think it's just a very niche situation that probably hopefully never happens to anyone. But I just saw it and I was like, let's go ahead and throw it out here. So let's say you have a disgruntled player, and he decides to leak your playbook to the opposing team the day before, like a really must-win game. How do you handle that situation if you find out about it? Like, what are you doing?
man, that's crazy. I hadn't even thought of anything like that.
Big school things, right?
Big
school
things. Our playbook's pretty basic. If somebody wants it, we can give it in off season. But so, I don't think you're going to get a whole lot out of our playbook. We tell our linemen up front. I said, we want communication. So if that guy across from you knows what's happening, Good. Now you both know what's going down. Now you got to win that battle one-on-one. So, how you deal with that kid, I don't know. Of course, you would think there would be some type of punishment, but, kids are going to be kids. It's going to happen. Things are going to happen, and I hope that never does happen, but if it did, then we're going to adapt and overcome. Maybe have another wrinkle or two in the playbook down the road.
Right. Have a backup just ready.
Just
ready.
ready.
So we were prepared for this situation.
Yep.
We're going all spread next.
Okay, last one on the hot seat, all right?
Yes, sir.
You just go down 8, 2 minutes left. You get the kickoff, go in the full length of the field.
Right.
You've got 0 timeouts, all right?
Gotcha.
Are you going deep, trying to hit the home run, or are you working them sidelines?
We're going to work down the field. I will even probably run the ball a little bit. We have, what we call NASCAR look, which
Okay.
we're no huddle and getting to the line of scrimmage. The kids know the plays. We're going to signal it in. We're going to stay calm, stay collected, and work the sidelines and work a few spikes, after the first down. So,
Man, I also, just think about it. That seems like that might be one of the funnest situations.
I think so.
As a player, as a coach,
Yeah.
So the intensity, you don't have time to think. You
Yeah.
got to get up and go. You
Yeah.
got to get up and go. Get the ball to the ref. Let's get the ball spotted so that we can run the next play.
Yeah.
I'm assuming y'all practice that. Like y'all
Absolutely.
have to run through that a couple times just to make sure everyone's on the same page and
yeah.
knows what to do. That's an interesting situation. I wasn't really a big football guy growing up, so I never really got to that point. But I always watched football and I love those situations. They know the plays, they know what's going on, they know how to do it. And it's that's like a well-oiled machine right there to do that kind of situation. That's really cool.
Oh, yeah. Cool. Hey, that was it for the hot seat. We're
Okay.
going to ask you some odd questions now, all right?
All right.
These are just fun. So I'm looking at this first one. I think this will be real fun, actually. You're trapped on a desert island, all right? One assistant coach is with you. Which one is it? I might know the answer.
Oh,
but-
this is going to be Michael Pittman.
Yeah. I was like, I might know that answer.
Yeah. But
My-
we'll take him out of the equation, okay? Let's say no Michael Pittman. Who's your next pick?
One assistant coach. I may have to go with Joey Ibarra. He's a great young coach for us, and
Yeah.
he's our O-line, D-line guy.
There you go.
Yeah, you gotta find the one that had the survival.
Yeah, I was going to say, does he make a good fire? Is
Yeah.
he a hunter?
I'm not sure about that pick anymore.
Now that you think about it.
Wait a second. Because you're
was just
you're trying
thinking
to
play
survive with this person.
Right.
He was thinking player development.
Yeah, I'm just thinking leadership and how he takes charge. So yeah, I think he would still be a good guy.
That's good.
To have on
Yeah.
your side there.
Yeah. All right, this one's a fun one. Let's say you need someone to give a pregame speech and you can't pick a coach. Do you have a player that you could trust to get up there and amp everybody up?
Oh man, there's a few of these seniors that they like to talk. So I think Broxton Varnell is our left tackle, and he plays defensive end for us. He's the guy that I go to. I think he's a good team captain, but and vocally he can really set the tone. So
Probably him.
There it is.
He's the guy, number 55.
We have to tell him next week, hey, get your speech ready, you're up.
That's right.
All right. They're making a movie about Ropes, Texas. All right. Specifically the football program.
Right.
Who's playing you? Which actor?
Oh man, I have no idea. Let me see. Somebody that's going to be pretty intense. Somebody that's going to get after it. I don't know who that is.
Get the big pockets go Matthew McConaughey. That's what I'm feeling now.
Yeah. Matthew. I would say Matthew, but he's a UT guy. I'm not.
There
I'm
you
not
go.
a big
Thank
UT
you.
guy.
Finally. Yeah.
I'm not a big UT guy, but yeah, somebody like that would bring some intensity into what we get to do on a daily basis.
That's awesome.
That's fair. It's hard to think about that one.
Yeah.
I don't-
That one's off the spot. And I watch a lot of movies, but I can't ever think actors when
Actors,
somebody
dude,
puts me on the
that's
spot. I'm
right.
like, I don't know, man.
All right, this is one that I think has now become a theme for us. So I think this is one that I'm kind of curious. What is the best football movie of all time?
Ooh.
At least for you, I mean.
When I was growing up, it was The Program back in the day. It was intense, and then it became, Remember the Titans got a good story.
Oh, yeah.
The Blind Side,
Yeah.
they all got great stories, but just the intensity of football. I always like the program. It's a little crazy and a little excessive at most times, but there's nothing else like an intense linebacker that's ready to go play.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. One last question for these fun ones. If you could switch positions with any NFL or college head coach, who would it be and why?
Oh man, a head coach. Those are positions that have a lot of responsibility, a lot of stress that goes with those jobs. I'm not sure. What's his name? Oh golly, what's his name? I just went blank on the Kansas City Chiefs head coach.
Andy
Reid. Yeah.
Andy Reid, man. He's a pretty calm, cool, collected kind of guy. I wish I could be more like him.
So you're switching to be more like him.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was thinking like, who would I want to coach?
Oh yeah.
That's anytime you get to coach some of those dudes up there, man.
Yeah.
Makes you a really good coach really quick.
Oh yeah, for
I think
sure.
about where I'd want to coach. I'd probably want to
Where location?
Yeah, location wise.
You're thinking Monday through Friday. What
Friday.
beach are you on? And
exactly.
Coaches are never. They don't have free time.
Like Buffalo, like they got like cold snow games all the time. Like I don't want to be up there in that. Like I want somewhere. You see how they always have people like come and like shovel their whole stadium.
Like they're fans. Yeah, they're fans.
So like I don't want that. Like I want someone that's got a closed dome. Vikings, man, they have a nice stadium. So like
That's right.
I like that.
Talk about community involvement. How do you get your fans to come and
shovel
the stands? Like they're doing something right.
You better be winning.
That's right.
Otherwise, they're like, nah, we're good.
Yeah. Hey, Coach, that's all we have today. Before we go, you got any last closing remarks? I know I've got Olton this week on the schedule.
Yes, sir.
Anything else you want to leave the?
I just really appreciate you guys having me in. You guys have done a fantastic job with everything y'all have done for our program. Y'all's pictures are fantastic, and we really appreciate you bringing me in here today.
Man, appreciate it. We look forward to watching lots more, not just football, but really every sport. Ropes has some exciting things going on.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Hey, thank you so much for watching another episode of the Fungo Sports Podcast. If you're not already doing it, follow us on social media. It's Fungo Productions. It's on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube,
Spotify,
everywhere. Just Fungo Productions. Also, hey, do us a favor. If you aren't already doing it, subscribe to this podcast. That way you get notified every time a new podcast is published each week. Hey, thanks as always, Coach. Thank you, man.
Great time as always.
We'll see y'all next time.